We're diving deep. Mercury is now retrograde in the 0 degree of Libra. And today I would like to explore deeper, higher, exactly what this energy means and how we can use it for our advantage. To begin, let's get a basic understanding of what retrograde means. A lot of astrologers will tell you that when a planet is retrograde, it appears to be moving backwards in a celestial sky from our perspective and perception here on Earth. Another way that we can ground down what retrograde means is by noticing and making note of the degree. For example, on yesterday, Mercury was retrograde at 0 degrees, 45 minutes, Libra. Now on today, the very next day, Mercury is still retrograde at 0 degrees, 23 minutes, which appears to have decreased by 22 degrees from the time that I looked at it yesterday. And I'm coming from a sidereal, Vedic, Eastern perspective. I'm going to give you a moment to think about what I just shared with you so that you can grasp in your mind's eye exactly what it means when a planet goes retrograde. Welcome back. When a planet goes retrograde, it's circling back through where it has once traveled before, again for the second time, as if it's picking up something that it forgot and left behind, or as if it's giving us another opportunity, in the case of Mercury, to learn something that possibly we didn't catch the first time around. Mercury retrograde is a time for reinvention. I know that there's nail polish at the bottom. Me and these cards have worked together for a very long time. Even while I'm doing manicures and pedicures, okay? We built a close relationship. And Mercury retrograde is a time for reinvention. Now, I know there are a lot of forums and groups and even some astrologers that will tell you that Mercury retrograde is a time for expecting technical difficulties and miscommunication and old past flames and acquaintances coming out of the woodworks and making contact, and a time to delay travel due to potential delays. I know that a lot of astrologers love to have individuals focusing their energy and attention on that. However, I always like to come with a different perspective. And this placement is near and dear to me personally, as I was born with this placement in my natal chart, meaning that when I came out of my mother's womb and took my very first breath, the planet Mercury was in retrograde. So I feel as though I have a special relationship with this placement, as this is my placement all year round for this incarnation, as may be the case for many of you who are born with this placement in your natal chart through birth. And so I asked Mercury to please share with me the meaning behind this placement and how I can activate and use it to produce beneficent results. And here is the answer that I received. Now is the time to further your personal studies, to dive deeper and to learn more in order to improve and expand upon your craft, your natural gifts, and your natural talents. Bonus points if you study subject matter and material that is connected and associated, correlated to the energies of the archetypes in astrology, for where Mercury is in retrograde at the time. What does that mean? This video is timeless. That means at any given point in time when there is a Mercury in retrograde season, this information will be applicable to you. However, in order to make an example of how to use this method in real time, I'm going to use the astrology of today, which is September 28th, 2021, in the Gregorian calendar that we use out here in the West. And right now, Mercury is retrograde within the degrees of 23 degrees 20 minutes Virgo and 6 degrees 40 minutes Libra. This is in Vedic sidereal astrology once again, and this corresponds to the nakshatra of Chitra, which means brilliant, the brilliant one. And the symbol that's associated with this nakshatra is the jewel, the pearl, the lamp, the lantern, which our good friend here, the hermit, has with him while he's meditating, expanding his consciousness and thinking about what next steps he's going to take, preparing himself, laying down the groundwork and the framework for when Mercury goes back direct. And as we see here, the hermit is ruled by or associated to the constellation of Virgo in astrology. And when I say learn, I mean read a book, listen to a lecture, attend a workshop, study on your own time, use practical skills, put what you have learned into practical use, and observe your results and record it. Come up with your own theories. Mercury, as we know, or should know, rules both communication but also the mind, the mental faculties of our mind. And so when Mercury is in retrograde and appears and feels to be closer to the earth plane, this is a marvelous time to tap into your mind, both left and right hemispheres of your mind, the frontal and posterior portions of your mind, to activate your whole and total mind. Are you hearing me? So this is actually a very favorable time indeed to lay down some important structures within your thought patterns and belief patterns that will go forth and serve you well going forward. I had to pause to let that sink in, because that was very deep right there. If you caught what it is that I'm saying to you. So in a nutshell, what does one do when Mercury goes into retrograde? The answer is study, dive deeper, research harder, because the information and data that you gather is going to be very beneficial for you once Mercury goes back direct. You'll be able to put it into action. At this time, since Mercury has went retrograde at the earliest stages of Libra, I feel personally that this is a good time to study chakra balancing techniques and methods, and not just the superficial stuff that people introduce to us on a day-to-day basis. It's a great time to dive even deeper, to do the work, to heal, open, and align our energy chakras. You may feel a desire to learn a different subject that will help to bring into balance the energies that reside within you, and that's beautiful. I'm signing in, signing out, above, beyond, below, beneath, all around, underground, uptown, downtown, midtown, here, there, anywhere, everywhere, past, present, future, now, out.